Hello, this is the Linux Gamer, and today I have my Soyuz replica in KSP. So this is the Soyuz rocket. The Soyuz spacecraft itself is in this fairing, so you'll see it later. And also, you really don't need... There's part clipping, as you can tell from the Kerbal portraits. Bill and Bob apparently are in just a void of nothingness, and Jebediah's head is clipping through a hatch. I mean, the real Soyuz is kind of cramped, but this is quite something. So, the first stage and the boosters, those I burn all the way through. My flight descent profile isn't too much like the real Soyuz because everything is scaled down, and while I did get the fuel mostly right, the second stage is a bit too much, but basically I do the classic Kerbal coast to apogee and then light second stage thing. That's not what the real Soyuz does. What this thing does have that the real Soyuz does is notably it can do the whole Korolev cross when I detach the boosters whenever that comes. I'm going to speed time up a bit just to make it easier on me and probably you, because I do not want to speed up commentary because that would result in some very strange sounds. Okay, this is proving to be quite the shallow gravity turn. I'm guessing the reason for my not-so-great performance right now is because I had to turn down my CPU's maximum overclock, because, yeah, my computer kept getting too hot and shutting down, so I may or may not have turned down the maximum CPU power, which has had some impact on gameplay. My computer is getting a little old and the parts are becoming more temperature sensitive, let's say. Alright, boosters are about to come off. Add a fuel. And there we go. Korolev cross in the Kerbal Space Program. Great. Now I will probably burn core to completion, but yeah, like I said earlier, we're gonna coast to apogee before we, apogee, I guess in this case, before we light the, what should I call it, the second stage engine. And yep, perhaps this is well outside the atmosphere. And now we can detach that stage. And here, in imitation of the RD-0110, I just have 4 spark engines. The real thing is a 4-chambered single engine, but none of those are available in upper stage format in KSP. So, yeah. I do have scatter or sunflare. Maybe not the best idea when I'm running on lower than expected CPU resources. I'm probably going to have to, like, if not replace parts, like just figure out some shortcuts, like turn down graphics settings somewhat. Maybe get rid of scatter or sunflare, etc. Which would be sad because I really like scatter or sunflare. Anyway. I tried to make a mechanical solar panel that would just stay in one position, but it didn't fit in the fairing very well, so we just have these solar panels. Also, my Soyuz is a little too long, especially the orbital module, which is where where the Kerbals sit during ascent and descent. There's this orbital module here, which is where they can chill in orbit. It's also an airlock for docking to space stations. I don't know why I keep saying Kerbals when I'm describing the real-life Soyuz's functionality, but whatever. This light here is just meant to be a window. Oh. Yeah, we're at apoapsis. Let's make sure we actually get this thing into orbit. Because it would kind of be bad if I didn't. Kind of. You'll get to see the landing system later, not now. And the landing system I've tried to keep pretty accurate. We've got both parachutes and retrorockets. I'll probably aim for a sea landing since I'm not very good with timing the retrorockets, so I need all the help I can get. The real Soyuz lands on land in the steppes of Kazakhstan. And there we go. I do not have any space stations to visit on the save file yet. Maybe I will in the future, but for now, we shall just get a nice glamour shot for the thumbnail. There we go. And we'll take a couple trips around Kerbal. I do not need all the astronauts to be visible, or launch sites for that matter. Alright, we've made a couple orbits. Now we're going to aim to land maybe around here near the crater sea. We shall see. You don't need the RCS to steer because there's a reaction wheel there, and the orbital module consists of a clipped Mark 1 lander can, which has a reaction wheel, and a Mark 1 passenger bay, which does not, but still. Alright, that should be plenty of deceleration. Now to just check off the orbital module. I know that thing has a decoupler, but I believe that would leave residue stuck to this, so I used a docking port to chunk it off instead. Not sure if that was wise, and now we can check the service module too. And prepare for reentry. And we have these little RCS maneuvering thrusters. The real Soyuz also has these to maintain attitude to get ready for reentry. So, not like an anachronism or anything. I guess I haven't mentioned yet, but the craft file for this thing will be in the description because I'm actually rather proud of it. It's not even that hard to fly. It's not easy, but it's not that hard. Okay, so far I've done no quick saving and loading, but I might need to do it for the landing because timing the burn on the separatrons is not easy. Like, okay, I should probably do the include in delta V calculations to get the burn time. So burn time is 2 seconds. Thrust to weight ratio is just over 1. So really I need to time it pretty well, and I'm not good at doing math on the fly, so could take a few attempts, as I said. Yeah, if you're wondering why it's drifting off retrograde, it's fairing aerodynamics. It's fairings, like, they're very good lifting surfaces in addition to the whole protecting against heat and making things streamlined and all that stuff, so they can cause weird things like this to happen. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. This might actually be the thumbnail instead. You will know because you don't get to take part in the creative process or something. Okay, I'm gonna make one quick save here. And pop the parachutes. It's 2 radial mount drogue chutes. Because, well, it's not quite realistic because with this, it would die even if it hit the water. The real Soyuz, even on land, can survive without the retro rockets. It just won't be very pleasant for the crew. Alright. Make a quick save here because we are coming up on a hard part of the mission. Perhaps the hardest part of the mission, also known as, oh gosh, I suck at retro rockets. Okay, so 80 meters. Maybe I'll fire off at, like, I'll fire off when I'm 80 meters above the sea. Alright, fire, 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 fire. Okay, that one didn't work. Let's try again. Like, seriously, I suck with retro rockets. Maybe I should have put more than 2 because the thrust-to-weight ratio is not very high. Indeed, if you get the craft file, like, increase the fuel, add more, both. I'm pretty sure I can land it like this. I just need to be more careful. Alright, the weird Logan stuff. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can burn off some RCS fuel to lighten this. Okay, it's not working very well. Instead I'll like angle the craft to slow it down a little more because retro rockets aren't incredible as you've just seen. Alright. And fire. Dang it, I missed again. Hey, at least Bill and Bob, they don't have a lander can clipped in anymore, so whatever. Let's try that again. Alrighty, so this time I'm going to detach the heat shield. That will probably help, because that thing is heavy. Oh, and that greatly increased my potential Delta V with the solid rocket boosters. That's probably what I should have done in the first place, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, looks like attempt number, 18, 19, something along those lines, is going to be successful. Hey, the casing broke, but the Kerbals are all alive. And honestly, that's fine by me. Thank you for watching, goodbye.